everybody. My name is Lisa A. Romano, and you have just happened upon my channel. And a little bit about myself. I am a ACOA life coach and mentor. What does that mean? That means that this channel is all about you, the adult child of the alcoholic who has sadly been neglected, ignored, and taught to disown self. And here on my channel, I get to share with you the knowledge that I have learned on my own road to recovery and healing the symptoms of being an adult child of an alcoholic. And let's face it, if you're the adult child of an alcoholic, you were raised in a dysfunctional home. And it has long-lasting, lifelong consequences. Why? Because being born to two alcoholics or one alcoholic means that the home in which you were raised was dysfunctional, in that someone had an addiction, parent A had an addiction, and parent B more than likely enabled the addiction or just denied the addiction or was not forthcoming to the children about the addiction. And so what happens? The communication style in the home is what we call non-assertive. There's a lot of guessing going on. There are elephants in the room. The floors are made of eggshells, as I like to say. And the walls are covered in gobbledygook, but nobody's talking about it. You know, it could be as bad as dad's drunk again, but mom just keeps cooking. Nothing's wrong, you know, or dad's beating the crap out of mommy and nothing's wrong, mommy's fine, mommy's not crying. And so we as their children absorb all this negative stuff and learn to think like they do in a dysfunctional way. So what do? We have all these feelings of fear, and then we're told, don't feel that. Oh, you're afraid? Don't be afraid. You're angry? Don't be angry. You have no right to be angry. You have no right to be angry. I myself, growing up in my home, I used to hear things like, do you know how hard your mother works to keep this house clean? Now, my mom was not an alcoholic, but both my parents are adult children of alcoholics. So they never did any recovery work, and so they very much still think like alcoholics. Most adult children of alcoholics, this is really important, they live their lives in an attempt to thwart pain. So their goal is to avoid pain. Their goal is not to embrace life joyfully, to anticipate abundance. What ACOAs generally do is they're living in a constant state of fear. They have angst. They are very reactive. They react to everything in their environment. They're perfectionistic, and they're very critical of others because they're critical of themselves. They never feel like they're enough. Why? Because we never got that validation that we deserved when we were children from mom and dad. Why? Because mom and dad were self-absorbed. Why? Because either dad or mom or both parents were drinking or drugging or in their own worlds, completely self-absorbed. And we don't have to be adult children of alcoholics to have. In other words, we can be any adult child of a parent or two parents who are self-absorbed to feel very much these types of symptoms, to feel like we're not enough. When a child is born, it is natural and innate for them to expect to be validated by mom and dad. We come into this life experience knowing that we know nothing. Mom and dad are God to us. So if mom and dad say, this is black and that's white, we believe them. So if mommy walks around stuffing her feelings and never approaches dad, we learn to believe that that's the way to deal with our feelings. Ignore them, stuff them, deny them, drown them in alcohol, take a Xanax, go to sleep. Do something to get you out of that state that you're in. We aren't taught to express ourselves. We're taught to tone ourselves down because, and some of us came from very, very crazy homes where people were getting their butts kicked, you know, and it's scary. And we were being physically abused, and some of us were sexually abused. And so there's a lot of fear in our subconscious programming about being who you are, because your programming is, don't be who you are. Worry about what mommy and daddy are doing. Worry about what they think about you. And that's a really big issue for codependents, love addicts, and adult children of alcoholics in general. We worry what people think about us. We don't ever check in with self. We never wonder, hey, what do I think about me? We don't know. I know myself that in my first marriage, I could tell you what my ex-husband's favorite meal was, what his favorite color was. I could tell you what his favorite restaurant was, what his favorite football team was. I knew everything about him. I was tuned up externally, and I knew nothing about myself. Nothing. My job, I was an extension of everybody else. And through much recovery work and radical honesty, I was able to eventually embrace the idea that I was constantly seeking to be validated. So every job that I had, I felt like I should have been validated. And when that validation didn't show up, I got very wobbly in my skin, like, and I go home and want to kick the dog, And I never realized why I was so upset, because I was constantly seeking validation from the outside. And so that's part of recovery. And so this is the kind of information you'll find here. I really, really encourage you to subscribe, because subscribing guarantees that you get these videos as I do them, and I do them pretty often. And I have learned to be the voice, if you will, for adult children of alcoholics who have been so denied. I am all about empowering the adult child from any dysfunctional home. So I consider myself the voice for people who haven't yet found theirs, and I'd like to be a bridge for you. I'd like to help you come out of the denial and help you come out of the shadows of other people and learn how to set boundaries and learn how to honor yourself and learn how to deal with the guilt as it shows up, because some of us have done some pretty crappy things in our unaware state. So my website is write this down, healingselfesteem.com. I'll say that again, www.healingselfesteem.com. Full, hundreds and hundreds of articles for you. Download them, feel free to distribute them, do whatever you want. I believe in sharing this knowledge with other people. I'm also the author of 4 books currently, and I have co-authored 2. My books are The Road Back to Me. The sequel to The Road Back to Me is My Road Beyond the Codependent Divorce. Essentially, that's my story, and how I became codependent, and how I came to understand that my grandparents' alcoholism had affected me, and how it had affected my parents, and how my understandings of myself and the world then affected my parenting, and coming face to face with a lot of the mistakes that I made in an unaware state. The second book, My Road Beyond the Codependent Divorce, walks you through the issues that I faced confronting my family of origin. They walked away when I went and got a divorce. They couldn't handle it and could not show up for me, which is typical. I hate to say it, but it's typical of adult children. When we need our parents, lots of times they're not there. They don't know how to be there. And so they're non-confrontational. So when one of the children decide, hey, I want a divorce, or I'm sick and tired of being kicked around, and it asserts a boundary, the family gets very wobbly themselves, if you will, and they don't know how to react to a member of their family sticking up for themselves, because boundaries are non-existent. So, and they worry about what other people think about your family because Susie's getting a divorce, or some clients that I've dealt with, mom has actually been jealous because, let's say, her daughter has decided to end a marriage, and mom never ended her marriage with her dysfunctional significant other, and now there's a little bit of jealousy going on. Sad, but it happens. So that's what the second book is about me coming face to face with my codependency, divorcing my codependent other, and taking my children through that terrible time. It was not easy. And I encourage anyone who's going through a divorce, who has children, to really read that story, because it will help you figure out the kinds of thought processes you need moving forward. And so The Road Back to Me is the child story through my eyes, and how I learned to find my voice, which is what I'm trying to help you guys do. And then the second part of the story is My Road Beyond the Codependent Divorce, how I married the first man I married, why I married the first man I married, and how I got out of that. And so but also what's really cool is it ends really nicely. So I encourage you to check that out. Also, Loving the Self Affirmations Volume 1. It is, I believe, 3 months worth of affirmations. So the book is very, very short. And it is one affirmation a day, specifically designed and engineered to help you crack the codependency in you. Very important. And it is my promise to you that if you put these affirmations to work, if you ponder them and incorporate them into your life, they will help you change, because we have to change what's unconscious. And what's unconscious is our limiting beliefs about self and about others and about the world and about our worth. And so that book is designed to help you break those codes. My 4th book is called Quantum Tools to Help You Heal Your Life Now. It's where I help you incorporate the ideas of universal laws into a recovery program. And, just a quick synopsis. It generally explains and breaks down how like attracts like. So, if you don't feel good about yourself, you can't attract a significant other that feels good about you or your relationship. And so I walk you through the steps that you can take that will help you reorganize your thoughts and help you become more aware. So again, my name is Lisa A. Romano. I am an advocate for every adult child out there, and I am honored to be your voice until you find your own. So check it out, subscribe, check out my website, check out a book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, and get back to me. Let me know how you're doing. I'm here for you. Namaste. Bye, everybody.